Okay, this is notes over how to convert quadratic equations from standard to intercept form and then standard to vertex form. So if we look at the steps here, it says first we're going to factor out the GCF, then we're going to multiply A times C, then we're going to find two factors that add or subtract to give you B. We're going to expand our B term, group them, and then factor out the GCF again. So looking at this example here, our first step is to factor out the GCF. Well, there's no GCF, so we skip that part. Then it says multiply A times C. So if this is A, B, and C, A times C would be 1 times 8, which is 8. That's how they got 8. Okay. Then they need two numbers that multiply to 8, but add to the B value of 6. Okay. That's how they got 4 and 2, because 4 times 2 is 8 and 4 plus 2 is 6. So that's how they wrote 4x plus 2x. So instead of writing 6x, they swapped that and put 4x plus 2x. Then they separated this into two parentheses and factored out the GCF from each. Notice here that they got the same expression inside of their parentheses. If you do not get this, that means you did something wrong. And then once we have that, we now have this standard form to intercept form because we rewrite one of the parentheses and then everything on the outside gets written in its own parenthesis right here. Okay, so let's look at our example. So first, we're going to see if we have a GCF. So our GCF is going to be 2, which means that we have 2 parentheses x squared plus 2x minus 3. My A times C is 1 times negative 3, which is negative 3. So I need to find two numbers that multiply to negative 3 but add to 2. Okay. Those two numbers are going to be 3 and negative 1. So instead of writing 2x, I'm going to write 3x and negative 1x. So I have 2x squared plus 3x minus 1x minus 3. I'm now going to group them into two parentheses and then factor out the GCF again. So from x squared plus 3x, I have x, and I'm left with x plus 3. And then from negative 1x minus 3, I have negative 1. I'm left with x plus 3. Remember I said these have to match if you did something correct. Okay? So then I have x minus 1, x plus 3. Bring down that GCF of 2, and this is my answer in intercept form. Okay. Now converting standard form to vertex form. So our first step is to identify the A value. Because remember, our formula is y is equal to a, x minus h squared plus k. And then it says find the x value of the vertex using this formula, plug in the x value to get y, and then substitute everything back in. So in their example, they found that the A value was 1. It's the number in front of x squared. Okay. Then, in order to find x, they did x is equal to negative b over 2a, which gave us negative 6 over 2 times 1, which gives us 6 over 2, which is 3. That's how they got that. Then they plugged the 3 in and got negative 16, which gives them the vertex, our h and k, as 3, negative 16. And then they plugged everything in to get their answer. Okay, so looking at our example here, we identify our a value, so a is equal to 2. Then I have x is equal to negative b over 2a, so this is a, b, and c. So I have x is equal to negative 8 over 2 times 2, which gives me negative 8 over 4, which gives me negative 2. I then plug in negative 2 for x, so 2 times negative 2 squared plus 8 times negative 2 minus 10. This gives me 2 times 4, which is 8, minus 16 minus 10. 8 minus 16 is negative 8. Negative 8 minus 10 is negative 18. So that means I have the vertex negative 2, negative 18. This is my A, my H, and my K. So that means my answer is y is equal to 2, x plus 2 squared minus 18. Okay, let's look at the last example. Okay, first we identify my A value, which is negative 2. And then I have x is equal to negative b over 2a. This is my A, B, and C. So negative 12 over 2 times negative 2 gives me negative 12 divided by negative 4, which is 3. Then I have negative 2 times 3 squared plus 12 times 3 minus 21. That gives me negative 2 times 9 plus 36 minus 21, which gives me negative 18 plus 36 minus 21, which gives me 18 minus 21, which is negative 3. So then I have the vertex 3, negative 3. That is my H and K, which means I have the answer y is equal to negative 2, x minus 3 squared minus 3.